What's up my loves, my name is Paige, this is Paige the Page, and this is the vlog for Read the Beats. Hello my darlings, welcome to this video. I just realized after I finished editing this that I didn't do an introduction clip, so apologies. This is a vlog where Jess from This Kiwi has provided me with 3 songs and I need to match some reads and vlog my experience. So I have given them 3 songs as well, so the vlog will be going up on their channel as well. So I will leave everything linked down below. They are a wonderful person, so please go check out their channel and have a look and see what their reads got up to. I do know that things have changed around a little bit from what they were originally planning, so that should be fun. And yeah, I'll leave them linked down below. I'll have these songs linked below if you want to go give them a listen. And yeah, I hope you find my choices as entertaining as I did. So off we go to Jess's picks. Alright, so I have Jess's video here ready to start Read the Beats. I am both very excited and very nervous because my music is very narrow. I do not have a wide scope, so I know that these could potentially be popular songs that I have no idea about. So I'm very excited to see what Jess has in store for me.
Hi Paige, thank you so much for being part of Read the Beats. I really appreciate it. Here are your 3 songs, and they're quite different, but I love them all in their own unique way. Let's start off with the one that I loved when it first came out, and then I kind of forgot about it, and then randomly my playlist started playing it again, and it's called Earthquake by Labyrinth and Tiny Temper. I can't really explain why I love it so much. I think it's just the beat and like kind of how deep it goes. It's one of those songs that at least when I play it in my ears, it sounds like it's coming like directly into my bones. And I always love it when music can do that. Now your second song, I'm gonna give your ears a little bit of a break. Your second song is by a band that you probably haven't heard of, because I don't know how many people have really heard of this band, but did you know that Kevin Bacon is in a band with his brother? They're called the Bacon Brothers, and the song that I picked for you is actually a song that Michael sings, and Kevin just kind of like does like the behind vocals. It's called Baby Steps, and I can't find the interview, but Michael did explain that essentially the inspiration behind Baby Steps was Icarus getting too close to the sun, and he kind of used that as an inspiration for, like, I guess the start of a relationship, and how that can go too quickly and get like really hot and heavy. That was my interpretation of it anyway. I like listening to Baby Steps in this kind of time of year with summer and it being really hot, very hot. It's so easy to listen to, and it's just like one of those songs that you can kind of tap on your leg. Yeah, it's one of those, and honestly if you like that song you should check out more of their music because it's really good. I really enjoy some of the Bacon Brothers music, and I think more people need to know about them. Now your third song is one, the version of the song that I really wanted to give you is one that I had on my playlist, but it's since been taken down, which really bums me out because I can't find a remix that's anywhere near close to what this was. It was a remix of a song called Requiem for a Dream, and it was written for the movie Requiem for a Dream. It's a classical piece, it's orchestral. So the version that I've linked to you is a live version of I think the composer Clint Mansell, I think, was the composer for it. So I'll link that version for you, and it is relatively long, but once you hit that, I think it's about 3:20 mark, and like the drums start coming in, it starts getting a bit more epic. That's a little bit closer to what the remix was, but not quite. And I'm so sad that the remix has been taken off, because that was one of the best classical orchestral pieces out there, in my opinion. So yes, those are your 3 songs. So we've got Earthquake by Labyrinth and Tiny Temper. We've got Baby Steps by the Bacon Brothers, and we've also got Requiem for a Dream, composed, I believe, by Clint Mansell. You can also find them under Lux A. Turner. Yes, have fun. I can't wait to see what you choose for me, and I can't wait to see what books you choose.
Oh, I gotta go listen to these. Alrighty, so I don't know any of those, which is completely fine. I'm gonna have a listen to them and then see how I go with finding some books. My brain immediately went with the Bacon Brothers, like finding something that sort of reminds me of Kevin Bacon. Mum, did you know he was in a band?
Yes.
Ah, yeah, there you go. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go listen to these and find some books.
Name a song though.
Baby Steps is one apparently.
Oh, there you go.
Hello, so welcome to the first book for this vlog, and thanks again Jess for having me on Read the Beats. I'm really excited to dive into these reads. So the first pairing I've done is the Requiem for a Dream. I'm just loading up what the thingamabobby was. Requiem for a Dream, hip hop rap instrumental, 2014 by Lex Thena. The entire time I was listening to it, I was like, this sounds like A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. I could vibe with this. And then I looked up what the movie Requiem for a Dream was about. And the book also fits into the vibes, the music video, like all of this ties perfectly to the book that I have already started reading. So Requiem for a Dream is a horror drama, and it's about a widow who lives a retired life, develops an obsession to lose weight and starts taking pills. However, she gets addicted to the medication and it takes a toll on her mental health. Heroine by Mindy McGinnis is about Mickey, and she is in a car accident and ends up having to have surgery on her leg and has 3 screws in her hip. So I am 50% of the way through this and absolutely dying. I love Mindy McGinnis's storytelling and just how she takes such hard-hitting topics and just fucking nails it. I am so deeply uncomfortable while reading this and it's fantastic. So this vlog is, I'm gonna say it's spoilers because Mickey has always been a really strong character. She's constantly been told how strong she is. She's not a beauty, she's not smarts, she is a sporty person and sports is her ride or die. So when she ends up injuring her leg and she is a catcher in softball, baseball, she realizes that the opioids that she is taking puts her into this state to get her through and show her strength. And she's no stranger to pain, emotional or physical. She's adopted. There's just a lot to her backstory that we get so beautifully. The synopsis says the pills do more than take away the pain, they make her feel good. With a new circle of friends, fellow injured athletes, others with just time to kill, Mickey finds peaceful acceptance in people with whom words come easily, even if it's just the pills loosening her tongue. But as the pressures to be Mickey heightens, her need increases and it becomes less about the pain and more about want, something that could send her spiraling out of control. Edgar Award-winning author Mindy McGinnis bears an honest exploration of the opioid crisis through the eyes of one girl, a visceral and necessary story about addiction, family, friendship and hope. And I just, Mindy McGinnis knows how to fucking write. I'm curious to see where we go. Where I left off, I think I was at the 52% last night, and there was a conversation that was being had that was very interesting between her parents, and there's so many different pressures. I want to see more, but she was in a car accident with her best friend and she was the one that was driving, and her best friend, she injures her leg and she's the catcher, and the best friend injures her arm and she's the pitcher. Mickey's constantly pushing herself to get better faster so then she can get back to what she knows, and the Odyssey is providing that blanket. I'm assuming we're gonna go deeper and it's not just going to be Oxy that days, but it might. I think it's, yeah, and I don't know, my heart is just breaking. The prologue is quite interesting as well, so I'll be curious to see what happens with that and where the prologue leads us and where our story ends, because right now we're in the thick of her just getting more and more addicted to Oxy. A lady was at her doctor's and heard her ask about her doctor for getting another prescription to oxy, even though she should have had 2 weeks left of her dose. And that becomes her drug dealer that is like a really grandma figure, and it's really, really brain trippy to read in that sort of sense. And then she's becoming more and more distant with her best friend. And I think, I find it interesting. I understand why the friend's distancing herself. Like, she's got a new boyfriend. She might put some of the blame onto Mickey for being the driver that got her into the accident that made it so that she had to recover prior to the softball season. But it's just so interesting. And my heart is in my stomach. Like, I've got visceral reactions to this. And yeah. So I'm gonna keep going and hopefully either check in at the 75%, might be when I'm finished though, because oh damn. But I think it's going to be a ride regardless. Hello, so it is now 11:30 on the 2nd of January and I've read my first book for the year, which was Heroine. I did it, I finished. I'm giving this a 4.5 stars. I absolutely, my heart broke. Like, I just love the way that Mindy writes such flawed characters. Female of the species will always hold a special place in my heart just because she's not afraid to go there. We don't go all the way there in this, but we see spiral out. So they end up going to Heroine and they get a dodgy batch and 3 of her friends die and she doesn't because she had a bump of her supply, but like she had to flush the other stuff. So all of her friends took the new stuff and she just had like this little bit of her old stuff, which put her in a slight high, whereas the other 3 sadly passed away. And so she is like completely fucked and just wants support and comfort, and their team is progressing through the softball tournaments and it goes south for her and she ends up not being able to play. And it's just, it was a really hard look, but she does get clean and it's so sweet seeing her stepmom, who was an ex-addict. They didn't know that until she went to have birth and was like refusing pain meds. Her supporting her through it as well, and then she could be open and honest. And oh, the last like 8 chapters just flew by. So yeah, my heart was breaking for everything that unfolds. The grandma character in this was just, my heart broke for her as well. And you just see how addiction can fuck you up so fucking bad. And it was a ride. I'm glad that I've finally read it. I really, really enjoyed it. I think I would have, I don't know if I would have enjoyed this a couple of years ago. It might have been the descriptions, like in the beginning, it's like content warnings for, like, contains realistic depictions of opioid use. Recovered and recovering addicts should proceed with caution. So like, it doesn't shy away, which I'm like, ugh, about. But now being a little bit more, not aware of what goes on, but maybe just like a little bit more street smart than what I was like 5-10 years ago. Yeah, I've got a little bit more understanding, and it put some relationship into perspective for me that I had previously. That was interesting as well. And yeah, it just breaks my heart. I don't know why, but I love reading addiction stories and seeing people come out the other end, even if they have to go through that traumatic instance to get clean. And she wouldn't have gotten clean. If she had cash, she wouldn't have gotten clean. So it was very interesting on that regard. And yeah, tick on off the TBR, one of the oldest, my haunters, ticking lots of goals with this. I don't know what I'm gonna read next, so I will check in with you when I've decided on my next read that fits for this. Bye. Hello my darlings. So it is now the 31st of January and I started my second book for this vlog last night, which I've decided is Half His Age by Jeanette McCurdy. I could apply this to either song. I'm leaning towards Baby Steps, Bacon Brothers though, because it makes me uncomfortable or buggery thinking about it. And like, the reason I think for Earthquake is that this could like shake up a lot of people's lives. There's a lot of tumultuous things happening in there. But for Baby Steps, it's just talking about take another baby step up the mountain of love. It's a long way up. The other one that I'm thinking for what I might put in for Earthquake also has ties to Greek mythology, and this does mention Icarus, so that's where I was tying those two together. But I don't know, it hurts my soul thinking of Baby Steps for this, so we're going with that at the moment. This may change once I finish reading both books. I feel like one fits better for the other. But I ended up getting 24% of the way through last night. And oh my lord. So this is following a 17-year-old who gets a infatuation with their English teacher. And she just goes after what she wants. It's not easy to read. Like, I'm genuinely uncomfortable. Even the description of the book is like these things. And the thing she wants the most of all, Mr. Corgi, her creative writing teacher, with the wife and the kid and the mortgage and the bills and the dead dreams and the atrophied looks and the growing paunch. Why must that be in just... Anyway, I really enjoyed, I'm glad my mum died, and I like her writing, so I was happy to dive in. Waldo is a very raw character. We are definitely in the mind of a 17-year-old, and the writing in some ways feels like when I try to write stories as a teenager, I'm like, ugh. But that works. That's what's getting me, because it's a very stylistic writing choice. It is intentionally like this. We are full balls to the wall in there with Waldo. For example, I also despise the cover, so I will have flashed it up on the screen, but I don't want it up while I'm talking about it. It'd make me sad. The first line is, "It's bad form to groan when a guy is going down on you. I know that, but right now it's hard not to." Like, this is how we're starting. Anyway, there are some seriously poignant quotes though in this about bodies, about parents and how fucking shit they can be. Based off the title of Jeanette's previous memoir, the mother-daughter relationship is a big, well, currently it's not a big thing, but it's a prevalent thing of like familial neglect and things like that. And I don't know, did she have? No, it doesn't look like there was a trigger warning list. So yeah, the chapters are insanely short. Like, I don't know what they're like in the physical copy, but it's literally a page, which is great because you fly fucking through it. And yeah, it's just about Waldo going after her English teacher and her wants and desires and rage, and I'm liking it. I really appreciate what it's doing. It's a really difficult subject matter for me to read, and I get it. But I think that's also why I knew I was going to vlog this, because I want to have some form of a nuanced discussion around it, and it's difficult. Like, people are going to dislike it because they don't like the topic matter. Some people are not going to like it because they don't like the really blunt being in the head of a 17-year-old. They're all fine and valid. Some people aren't going to like it because they think it's trying too hard to do something. For me, I'm worried I'm going to have a positive bias because I want it to do well with what I hope it's aiming to do. So I'm acutely aware of that, and I'm like talking to Ash being like, I gotta take the blinders off, but like any of the descriptions with the English teacher, I'm so uncomfy because there is a lot that goes through my brain now with this situation, so I'm like, but we'll see. I have no idea how it's gonna shape up. Honestly, I don't even know if they're gonna get together. Like, they might not. It may just be Waldo's seeking this and wanting this, and I do really appreciate her just like so fucking locked in, because I get it. Hey. But yeah, so I'm 24% of the way through, I believe, and very conflicted, but also like very much appreciating the conversation. So I will come back in at the 50% mark. It's also hard, like, with spoilers and that sort of stuff when it's a contemporary sort of thing and we're dealing with this sort of subject matter, because I'm like, but like, the thing that I don't like, because it's so just, yeah, is how painfully the descriptions of age are highlighted through the physical description. And I can, visual reader, so you give me enough description, I've got a really solid image. And I think it's interesting because for me, it was more about the brain and their connection, and Waldo is touching on that as well, but it's like it's such an intentional choice to include them so that the reader goes this. So yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna go and I'll check in at the 50% and hopefully have some semi more coherent thoughts. There was... Dear God. Hello, so I'm now at 50% of half his age, and oh Lord, this is uncomfortable. Yep, this is a book. So I don't have many more thoughts. Waldo's character just continues to show really different, interesting facets, but it's just so difficult to read. It's really difficult to talk about this without spoilers, but her rage is becoming more prevalent, and whilst she's accepted things that she was happy with at the beginning, things are shifting, and so she's got to come to terms with that, and now hitting the halfway mark, it's starting to come to a head. So I'll see where we go. The reaction that I had before was the way that she went about it was very much coerced consent, no consent, and so I was like, no, that's not okay. After that instance, there's been discussions of consent has been provided from both parties, so better, still not liking, but the descriptions have stopped. The second she got what she wanted, the description stopped, and I was like, so yeah, anyway, back to it, and I'll check in at the 75%. Oh God, I'm so conflicted. All right, bye. What? Is this like a Twilight reference? What the fuck? Oh my, I'm comfy. I'm at 75%. Dear God. I do feel like this fits for the song though, of Mountain of Love and oh shit. But I don't have too many other thoughts aside from I'm just severely uncomfortable, so I'm gonna go grab an ice cream, watch a little bit of YouTube, and then dive into the last little side. Dear God. Hello my darlings. So I'm thinking Earthquake may have been better to assign to half his age, but we're here now, so love that. The hair is saying a lot on the vlog of my current temperature regulation, and I am still trying to like process half his age, so I haven't done a sign off, but I have dived straight back into the Odyssey by Stephen Fry, which I'm counting for baby steps. Vice versa. No, wait, what? Counting for Earthquake, although it could also easily fit for baby steps as well. Interchangeable. I love Stephen Fry's narration. It is so funny. So we're literally just going over like the story of Odysseus and his son, and so far we're just going along and I love it. But there is one particular quote that has had me absolutely giggling, and I read it to Ash and he also appreciated. I must ask, dear father, said Athena to Zeus, when your plan will come fully into being? My plan? What plan? Your plan for all humanity to be ruled by none but tyrants, criminals, and fools. Your plan to ensure that justice is banished from the earthly realm. Your plan to usher in an age without treaties, promises, honor, or the law. That plan. Footnote. A plan that finally has come into being in every detail, it would seem, ... from Stephen Fry. Fucking... that man. Love it. So you technically don't have to read this series in order. There are bits mentioned from the other three. Stephen Fry will just mention it and be like, this goes into further detail in this book, which is nice. But you still, well, I don't know, because I have such, like, I wouldn't say a thorough understanding, but a decent understanding of Greek mythology and all of that, and the story of Odysseus because of the Penelopead. I highly recommend that. I find it very easy to just keep going and know what's being spoken about. I'm not sure if people that don't have an understanding would find that helpful. So it might be better if you don't have a great understanding of Greek myth to go in order for the series, but in my reading experience, it goes pretty smoothly. So I am now at 30%, I think, ended. Normally I check in at the 25%, but it's just so hot and I just need to keep reading. So it's because I want to get this done today. So we'll see. I might check in at the 60% mark because it has been so long, and then just do the last section because I don't know how many other thoughts I'm going to have towards this because it's just the story. We'll see. But I love Stephen Fry's narration so much. It's so good. He's just so funny and it's very, very accessible. It is so palatable and a great starting point, and he doesn't sugarcoat Zeus. Like, he doesn't explicitly go into detail, but he doesn't shy away from the bad side of history. So he doesn't go into detail and like, hi, let's do this with a fine-tooth comb, but he's like, yes, they raped and pillaged and were horrible fucking people. So that is where I'm currently at, and yeah, I will check in when I next decide to. Bye! Hello my darlings. So it is now 8:30 and I've just had dinner, but I got to 71% of Odyssey by Stephen Fry and really enjoying it. It does feel like there was also talk of like earthquake in it as well because of Poseidon, so that was hilarious. And we are finally at the home stretch. Odysseus has made it to the banks of Ithaca, but we now are just awaiting on how he's going to get home. So I am going to finish off this YouTube video that I'm watching and then dive into it, and I think I've got about an hour left, so yeah, 31st! Off I go. And then I will come in, do a wrap up and the final vlog clip for half his age as well. Okay, bye! Hello my darlings. So it is now the next day and I just needed to take some time to process all the emotions and feel all the things. So I am back. So I've decided that my final rating for half his age is a 4 stars because the messaging in it was super important, and I think there is a lot to be said about female rage and letting people feel the full spectrum of emotions and not trying to make themselves into a particular shape because that just continues to perpetuate bad habits. However, I did not like the fact that there was explicit non-consent on page and the protagonist proceeded. That's not consent. That's not okay. That's completely icky. I don't care about the power imbalance. If someone is saying no, they are saying no. And there is also the mind-body dissonance which can happen, so men can get an erections even if they're not turned on. That does not mean that that is consent. And I know that a lot of 17-year-olds, some of them may know this, but they also may not. So they are taking that as a sign of consent. But this is where we need to educate young people on what consent actually is and what it can look like. Because unless it's saying yes, you know, affirmatives if you're nonverbal, I don't care what it is, but you need to provide a yes. And if there is not a yes and it is an explicit no, then that is sexual assault. Didn't like that. Then we continue into their whole dynamic and that just, hey. But there were some amazing quotes, like so good about the female experience and how the human experience. But as a woman, I related a lot to a lot of the like discussions about how you watered down your personality so that you're a body, tits and body, but your personality is two-dimensional. And there was a lot of good shit, but also like just fucking... There were a lot of moments that I did not expect to take such a nuanced discussion to be able to articulate in a vlog, because it's not nuanced in the book. And it does concern me because I know that a lot of traction was gathered from I'm Glad My Mum Died, and I think Jeanette has a lot of good points. But if we are saying that this is okay because she's pursuing what she wants and she deserves that, no, same flip side. The man can't do that either. No. So that's where I'm nervous about it, because I don't think that it fits that nuanced discussion, which I feel like Jeanette had the potential to write about, and I don't know why she didn't. She did write from the head of a 17-year-old, and dear God, that hurts some days. It was just very blunt, matter-of-fact writing. It's so funny because even in it, he's talking about like English writing techniques, and she's like, no, I just prefer blunt and to the point. I'm like, really? You do, hey? Hadn't noticed. But yeah, it was such a thought-provoking book for me, so I feel like there is a lot of good discussion to be had, and I'll be curious to talk to more people as they read it. But it is an uncomfortable book to read. There is not a single iota of comfortability in any area of this, and considering where we end up at the end, it's interesting. So that's that, and I'm glad that I read it, and I'm also like, oh dear God, I feel like I should maybe do a critical analysis of this, and because I'm blogging it, I'm trying to articulate my thoughts, and that's always been a struggle, but we made it. Alright, and then to conclude for the Odyssey, I gave this 4.5 stars. I just love Stephen Fry's narration and his takes and his little anecdotes that he throws in, which is following the story of Odysseus and how he gets back home and what happens when he finally arrives after many, many, many moons. I just think this is a fun, good time getting to read Greek mythology in a much more palatable way. I am now curious to try the Odyssey by Homer. I did the Iliad and no thank you, but maybe it would be worth it. I might reach out to Mel when she's finished with all of her buddy reads and ask if she wants to endeavour to do it at some point, because there is a lot of discussion and a lot of things happen, and we travel a lot of area with Odysseus. So yeah, it was just an enjoyable, fun read, and I'm glad I ended my month on that rather than Half His Age, because I was having like an existential crisis before I dove into the Odyssey. So such interesting reads, and I don't know, I still am conflicted about whether applying baby steps to Odyssey or to Half His Age, and Earthquake to Half His Age or Odyssey. They're very interchangeable for the songs and how I feel towards them, so that's interesting. Maybe I'll get to editing and re-listen to the songs and you will have seen that I've decided to switch them. Who knows? I certainly don't. But thank you so much, Jess, for inviting me to be a part of this. I am so happy with the reads that I got in. Like, I've read some really... Heroine and Half His Age was some serious thinking pieces for me, and I am still thinking of Heroine at the end of the month. Like, it has stuck with me. So I'm glad I got to experience this and tie it in and be a part of this, and I can't wait to see how you went with my songs and all of the chaos that I like to throw people's way. I'm really curious and very excited to be able to watch your vlog. So thank you again for having me on. I love this. This is a great way to pick some reads, and yeah, on that note, I can't wait to see who else is getting to read the beats as well. So please, I'll have Jess's channel linked down below. Go follow them, go have a wonderful time. They're an amazing, wonderful individual. And yeah, if you have liked this video, feel free to give it a big thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more of this mess, feel free to subscribe. And I'll hopefully see you in my next video. Bye!